Hello all. Today we will learn about the Resource API. The Resource API is an experimental feature introduced in Angular 19 that simplifies working with asynchronous data and improves reactivity in components. It builds on Angular Signal and aims to provide a clean, declarative way to fetch and handle asynchronous data. What exactly it means? Let's go with the example here. If I refresh the page, you see here you are getting a loading message and then you are getting the data. If you will notice here, till that we have requested the data and the data has not come back to the browser, we were able to see the loading message on the UI. So how it is happening? That is coming with the Resource API. Now let's walk with the code. I will explain more in details first. So how Resource API work? So the Resource API, if you will see the HTML, I have binded with each loading error and values. And what is the type of each loading error and values? It is a user's property. And how the user's property is coming? Its user property is a Resource API. Now it means I don't have any boiler code. Before that, if we are using the RxJS subscribe method, we have to write our own business logic for loading, error, and for data. Now the Resource API provide inbuilt functionality which provide the data is loading or it has error. If it does not have error, what is the exact values we got from the response. So this all the things are inbuilt now from the Resource API. And how I have configured a resource and resource accept parameter. One of the parameter is the loader, and loader will, I'm using the fetch method, that is a JavaScript fetch method, and I'm providing the URL of the where I have to request the data, and I'm using the promise, and finally whatever the response I am getting it, I'm converting into the JSON, and that are holding inside this users variable. And definitely the users variable is a resource type that has inbuilt data loading and error properties that I have binded it here. It means if the data is loading, I am displaying the message called loading. If it has error, it will display what exactly the error is, the error message. And if you will notice here, everything is signal. This error is a signal. And here once again, once I am getting a successful result, I am using a values signal to retrieve the data. Once I have data, I am iterating with the for loop and I am displaying it on the UI side. You can let me refresh the page once again, and you notice here once again how I have explained. So now I have requested the data, you can see the here, and till that I'm getting the loading message, and once I got the response back, I'm able to display this data on UI side. So what is the benefit of using the React Resource API? The first thing, we don't require boiler code to write for loading, error, or any other mechanism. Everything is inbuilt. So when to use Resource API? Resource API we can use if we have a small application. We cannot use the Resource API till now. When we have a complex application where we required multiple or complex stream data. If we have complex or stream data, we have to use RxJS. We cannot use Resource API. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Please subscribe and like the channel. Thank you all.